In my quest to watch every video game movie ever made, I just made it to one that I was really dreading. And boy howdy did it hit me like a brick. A punishment I wouldn't wish upon my worst enemy. Watching the Assassin's Creed movie. I have a theory that most people that watch this film in theaters dumped it from their memories as a way of coping with the traumatic experience of watching something so criminally boring. I think as a defense mechanism, the human body voided the memory of this film's existence from a lot of people that were unfortunately subjected to its horrors. Now, the way I'm portraying it here makes it sound like it's one of the worst movies ever made that's damn near unwatchable. And that's because it's not far off. Not because I think it's objectively as bad as some of the other films I've already watched, like Silent Hill Revelations. There are definitely worse video game movies that have been made, for sure. But this one just does everything that nobody asked for. It is like the perfect epitome of taking a property that you're adapting and then just wiping your ass with pretty much everything to do with it. And I think what makes it more insulting is that there's glimmers of potential throughout the movie, like specifically with its action choreography. They do a really good job of capturing the free running and parkour of the games as well as the combat of the games in this movie. It's really flashy, it's really stylistic. Like, they do a very good job and a pretty faithful attempt at recreating that experience in a movie. I was very impressed with that. But everything else around it is a complete disaster. By far, its biggest sin is how boring the movie is, and that's because instead of just, as the games would set you up, getting into the Animus, getting into the action, and you are in the Animus in the past doing all your assassin shit, instead of making that the focal point, instead it's mainly about this tedious chore of following our brooding, aggressive protagonist Cal, played by Michael Fassbender, around Abstergo as he talks to a lady who wants to end violence. She found the cure for violence, it's the Apple of Eden. Cal comes directly from the assassin's bloodline. They find him, he's very aggressive. He watched his father kill his mother when he was a kid, and then he ran away. His father was, of course, an assassin. He ran away, and he grew up to be very violent, and he fights people. And he was on death row. He was getting, killed because he killed a pimp. They make a point at making that, what he was facing the death penalty for. She was like, "You're very violent." And he says, "Yeah, you killed someone, didn't you? You're a murderer." And he's like, "Well, I killed a pimp." So because he murdered a pimp, he was getting killed on death row, and then the Templar come in and save him because they recognize that he's got the blood, and they need him to jack into the Animus so they can go into the past and find the Apple of Eden through him. And they have all of Abstergo set up with all of these other adjacent assassins in there that they've been exploring to try and find clues, but they need Cal. And Cal's just brooding, and he sometimes makes wisecracks, but he's just so boring. Everything that happens in Abstergo is a snooze fest. And it's really some weird decisions they made with the Animus itself, because instead of just lying down in the Animus, they make it a giant claw. Literally like my GamerSupps claw machine, it is a giant claw that picks him up and does this with him, gyrates him around for all of his parkour maneuvers, and it thrusts him into a wall as he's going back to the past. I don't really get the point, and this movie is entirely reliant on lens flare to obstruct your view of its CGI. It's a huge budget film, but for some reason it seems really shy about showing you its visual effects. So that claw, you never even get a clear picture of because it is constantly like a fucking solar flare hitting your retinas. Like your peepers getting melted like that guy from SpongeBob when the bald head shines in his direction. I don't know why they would even bother changing the Animus to something more intricate like that when they're not even going to show you it. And it also doesn't even matter. It does not do anything. It doesn't really change anything. It's just goofy and silly. It's like they really wanted to make some deep sci-fi spin off the Animus, even though it's already very deep tech. I don't know. I really don't know what they thought they were cooking there, but they fucking burnt that dish for sure. But when you finally do get into 15th century Spain with one of Cal's ancestors, it's really fine. The parkour I said looks good. The action is actually pretty impressive. The story sucks. I don't think it's even worth diving into the narrative here. The story and the writing are atrocious. I think most of you know this by now. I am not the biggest Assassin's Creed enthusiast. I am one of its most adamant haters. I am a D1 Assassin's Creed not enjoyer. I am constantly screaming it from the mountaintops. I have not liked Assassin's Creed in about a decade. I like Black Flag. I know it's a really cold take, but Black Flag was the last one I liked, and I didn't even like that as much as everyone else seemed to. I just don't like the franchise. It's not for me. I don't have any problem with people liking it though. That's totally fine. It's just not for me anymore. I find it to just be really not fun. So right away, this movie already had a tall mountain to climb in regards to my personal taste, but everything they did here narratively was so much worse than any of the Assassin's Creed games. And I've played pretty much all of them. I always give them a fair shake for the most part. I don't know why they wouldn't just take one of the storylines that had already been established through so many of these games. It would have been far easier, and it would have made a lot more sense than what they tried to conjure up with this dog shit. It is a disaster. Like I said, the Templars want to cure violence. They found the cure to aggression with the Apple of Eden, which takes away free will. Their whole plan is get rid of free will so we can control them and there's no longer any violence. And the lead scientist at the Templars is someone that you grow kind of sympathetic with, like, oh, seems like she might start to realize this is a bad idea, like, oh, maybe the Templar can't be trusted with something so powerful. Her motivation makes sense. Her mother was killed by an assassin. Now she wants to find the Apple of Eden to make sure that kind of tragedy doesn't happen to anybody else. Fast forward through the adventures of finding the Apple of Eden. It's really underwhelming. Like, everything that happened in the Animus with action was cool, but everything that happened story-wise was really silly, because it turns out the Apple of Eden was with Christopher Columbus the whole time. Christopher Columbus was associated with the assassins, and he held the Apple of Eden in his grave. So when the Templar learned that, they just go to where Christopher Columbus was buried and just ask for it. They're like, oh, the Apple of Eden? Yeah, it's right over here. We got it. It's in this box, actually. Like, it was just in their desk the whole time, right under their nose. This entire time. It was so lame. And speaking of lame, the entire character arc of Cal sucks major wiener. So Cal's dad kills his mom right in front of him. And it's, that really fucks him up. Understandably so. So he spends his whole life, like, just being mean and aggressive, and he, like, hates his dad, wants his dad to die. So, like, his final words on the deathbed were, "Tell my father I'll see him in hell." That's what he says. It's so edgy and so grossly cringe. But we do get to see his dad. Abstergo actually has his dad there because they were using him to find more information on the Apple of Eden. So then he gets to meet his dad. He's like, "Papa, I hate you." And he's like, "I get that. Is it because I killed your mother? I did do that. I did kill your mother. But I did it for her own good. The assassins must protect the Apple of Eden. We have a creed we must uphold, the Assassin's Creed." And Cal has the hidden blade to him, and he's like, "If you're going to kill me, Cal, just do it. I do deserve it." And he's like, "Do it yourself." And gives him the blade. So that's like their closure moment. And then eventually everything goes tits up after they learn about the Apple of Eden. All the assassins gang up with Cal to rise up against Abstergo so they can't get the Apple of Eden and take away free will. And Cal's dad, he has his hero moment where everyone's rising up, including Cal's dad. And Cal's dad kills one guy while he was like looking in the corner, Blair Witch style. He turns around, kills one guy, and then immediately just gets ganked. Like, the other three dudes stab him a bunch, and he just dies. And that's the last you ever see of Cal's dad. I don't know what the point of even bringing him back was. He added nothing. Truly a waste. And also, the entire, like, rising up against Abstergo was super weird because all of the Abstergo employees, all of the security, they make a point of saying it was like a $9 trillion operation with the Animus and all of the Abstergo, like, henchmen and all their hired muscle, and yet not a single one of them has a gun. In fact, the only weapons Abstergo has are the weapons the assassins are proficient in: crossbows, knives, swords, and hidden blades. That's all they have. And keep in mind, the Abstergo employees, they are not assassins, they're just hired hands. Like, you would expect them to have some fucking guns, not a single gun. The only projectile weapon they have is crossbows, and they don't even use that. Only the assassins get that. They literally have that there just so the assassins can make sure they're fully equipped to rise up against them. I don't know what the plan was. It was so fucking wacky. Anyway, though, the movie ends with them getting the apple back, and to get the apple back, Cal ended up killing that lady's dad. I forgot both of their names. They were just so underwhelming. I do not remember those character names. But the scientist girl, she actually saw Cal's flashback, or rather his synchronization with the bloodline of the Assassin's Creed. So she saw all of the other assassins that Cal was seeing, and one of them was her. One of her ancestors was actually an assassin. Meanwhile, she is now a Templar scientist. And you think that this is the moment where they're planting the breadcrumb that she's going to turn and she's going to be the one to stop her father from taking away free will with the apple. But in fact, all it is her father gets the apple and she's talking to him like, Papa, I don't like what you're about to do with this. And he's like, I understand, but thanks for writing my speech. This one's for you. So then he goes out there and to all the Templar, like the whole organization. He's like, I have the apple of Eden. It's right here, the sacred apple of Eden. Free will is gone. We can control free will, and those pesky assassins are vanquished once I use this apple of Eden. And then Cal approaches the scientist lady, and he's like, you know what I have to do, right? And she's like, yeah. So then he walks by her and then just kills her dad. No issue at all. No hiccups. Just walks up, kills the dad, and then takes the apple. And then the scientist lady goes up to the dad's body while his corpse is cold. She sheds a tear. And then she decides that she wants to double down and get the apple back and kill every assassin. We must eradicate the assassins and take away free will. Even though just minutes ago she had a huge issue with what her dad was about to do. Meanwhile, she is now completely flip-flopped and wants the exact same thing. What the fuck? I don't know what they were trying to set up, but they didn't follow through on it. I feel like they probably were going in a different direction at some point and then just said, fuck it, just ship it. And it just doesn't connect. It doesn't really work. Nothing in the movie really works aside from its action. That's the only saving grace of this film, and it doesn't save it. This movie is so boring. I already didn't like Assassin's Creed as a property, and this made me like it even less. It's just insulting. It's bad. It's not good. That's really about it. So yeah.